I recorded an answer and it was 3.5 minutes long. Why am I so long-winded? It's not that difficult of a question. Anyway, so you said, why does the milk bank only want milk frozen immediately after a pump and not mixed with other milk? So I worded that confusingly because I was tired and probably a little shaken up still about the hawk. But basically, that's not exactly true, the way that I said it. So the milk bank doesn't care about when I freeze the milk. What they care, well, I mean, it has to be frozen within, I think, the 3 days that it's allowed in the fridge, but that's me. What the milk bank cares about is that it's not mixed with other milk, and I'm sure that that's just hygiene reasons because they want to make sure that, like, you're not doing pitcher method, because if you're doing pitcher method, there's just an increased risk of bacteria. It means you're mixing cool and warm often, and it just generally makes things more complicated. So they want milk that is from the same session. It also allows them to care about whether it's AM milk or PM milk, because some babies are a lot more sensitive to that, and so someone's not going to want to give their baby AM milk when they need the melatonin, or more importantly, the other direction, you don't want to give the baby PM milk that's going to have the melatonin when it's daytime. So a lot of people care about that. They also want it to be fully clean parts every single time, and sometimes in a 4-hour window I will use the same parts twice in a row, since breast milk is safe at room temperature for 4 hours. Now I'm not really doing that now that I'm down to 4 pumps a day, but when I was doing more pumps I would do that. And so to just make it easier for my brain to make that less, my cat is rubbing against my phone. Little cat text for you. This is Finnegan. Anyway. And then lastly, if I have 15 ounces at the start of the day, I know I'm not going to run out of milk by the end of the day. And so I always make sure that I have 15 ounces at the start of the day. And so if I have more than that, if I have more than 20, I want to freeze some milk just so that I don't have so much on hand, because I'm going to at some point need to use a second pitcher if that happens. So anytime I have more than 20 ounces after my first morning pump, I'll just freeze 5 ounces. And that's just an easy way for me to make sure that I'm following all of the rules. It's always fresh parts for my first pump of the day, and it's always, I'm bagging right from that new milk, not any of the older milk. So it's just an easy way for me to make sure that I'm following all of the rules so that the milk could be donated if it doesn't end up going to my baby. The goal for my milk is always for it to go to my baby, but if it goes to another baby, I want to make sure it's following all of the rules. And it's also to make sure that I'm not bagging milk that I actually need for the day. Since the rest of my pumps, I have a pretty good prediction of how much milk I need. And this is still 3 minutes long, but I still feel like I did a much better job of being concise and, less ums. Anyway, that's my long-winded answer.